you and I's friendship will always be easier for us than you and that other person's friendship. Because we value things more closely. I don't care if you come to anything. It doesn't bother me. Could care less. Don't care. Doesn't bother me. And you don't care if I come to anything either. Don't care. That's because that's an aligned value that we both have, a shared value.
I'm only looking for the people who are looking for me. In business, that's a way to go out of business. But in life, I think that we all kind of know if you don't have any desire whatsoever to reach your potential, you're not going to like me. Because that's who I am and what I am.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another episode of Next Level University, where we help you level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. Today, for episode number 1821, what is a good friend? I went to see Matt, my best friend. I can have two best friends. Alan's a best friend and Matt's a best friend. So I have two best friends. Sue me if it's not legal, whatever it is, what it is. And we had a blast. We got dominoes and played a little Call of Duty, which was nice.
Thin crust?
Never.
Huh.
Never.
Lower Cal.
I told him, I said, we're going to do whatever. I don't care. Don't worry. We're going to party. We're going to party tonight. I only see you once every couple months, once every 3 months. I'm okay with eating a little bit extra.
You're not a fan of bone-in chicken wings?
Never.
Bomb.
Never.
Domino's knows what they're doing.
I would never get bone-in chicken wings from a Domino's.
They were good.
I am offended. Never. Never.
I'm telling you. Pretty good.
No, because one time I got the chicken bites and I caught a vein. You ever catch a vein? No.
Oh, yeah.
No. Yeah, not
it's
it.
par for the course. There's pros and cons with everything. We should do an episode on that.
That's why I avoid the pros, because I'm not down with the cons, son.
Oh, nice.
So Matthew asked me to be his best man because he's engaged and he's getting married next August. And I was super grateful, and I felt a lot of pride. And I said I would be honored. I'd be honored to be your best man. And I said, what's off limits? What do you want to do? What do you not want to do for the bachelor party? What do you want to do? And he said, I'd love to go golfing. And I was like, oh, shit. I'm gonna have to, that's gonna be bad for me. And everybody else plays golf. I don't. This is gonna be terrible.
You're gonna rent a little colored putter.
I don't know what I'm
mini
gonna
golfing. You're gonna go mini golfing. Kev's gonna set it up.
I'm gonna figure something out.
Yeah.
And at one point he said, but I already told a couple of the other guys that you'll probably lean on them more than the normal quote-unquote best man would. Because I know how busy you are, and I know you'll burn to the ground if you're trying to do everything and put that together. And I told Alan that, and I said, I think that would make for a really good episode, because I don't know if we did an episode on this, but we asked it in group coaching. Amy asked it in Next Level Nation. What's the question you... Do we do? What's the question you wish you were asked more?
What does it mean to be a friend to you?
No.
Oh,
what's the question you wish you were asked more?
No, we didn't do an episode on that yet.
I think that's kind of hand in hand with this.
What'd you say?
I don't know. I don't remember. That's always a hard one for me. I don't know the answer to that. Depends on the day. Would you like me to do all of your work so you can stay in bed? Yes. Yes, please. Would you like a small business loan of $25 million? Yeah.
With zero interest?
Yes. And you don't even have to ever give it back. We'll just give it straight to you. So I told Alan that, and he said, well, how did that make you feel? And I said, I felt, well, Alan guessed. He said, seen, feel, felt, heard. And I said, yeah, for sure. For sure. I appreciate the fact that must have gone into his preparation. When he was thinking about it, he was thinking of me as much as he was thinking of himself. And that means a lot. And he got me a whiskey. And we had a couple glasses of whiskey together, and that was wonderful. It was a great bonding moment. I feel like an adult man. I felt like one of those real moments,
Yeah.
And it was very strange. But that felt really aligned. It felt like I was really valued.
So let me get this straight.
What?
Let me get this straight real quick.
What? Yeah.
You're hanging out with Matt, who you've known since you were... 12?
Yeah, probably. Long time.
You're eating pizza, drinking whiskey,
Definitely.
playing Call of Duty,
Of course.
and you feel like a real man?
Well, that's not how it happened. It started with...
I'm kidding.
We hung out for a bit.
Yeah.
Then he asked me. Then we had whiskey.
Yeah.
Then
I'm only
Domino's
kidding.
came.
I just
No,
think
no,
that's
but I have
hilarious
to give
because
you the,
that is still a real man moment, even though it's
that was the real man moment for me.
yeah.
It was very surreal. I didn't have a best man because I didn't have a wedding. We eloped. So for me, it was different. So I didn't have to ask anybody.
And obviously, you wouldn't be able to choose. I mean,
Well, it'd be so hard. You probably wouldn't even come. It's like, what day is it?
I'm literally kidding. I think it
calls.
probably should have been Matt. Genuinely,
I would have 2 best men. That's what I would do.
by definition.
I don't live by definitions, son. It's my wedding. I could do whatever I want. I
Yeah,
could have
that's true.
3.
That's
I would
true.
have best men and then best cats. I'd have you, Matt, Fudge, and Ace in little cat tuxedos.
We got ice cream from an ice cream truck and played Can Jam. So that was awesome.
That's not real man stuff. That's real kid stuff right there.
Oh, that was at your wedding party.
Big kids.
Yeah,
Big kids.
it was fun.
But that's kind of the thought for this episode is what is a good friend? What is a good friend to you? Have you identified it? Do you allow more misalignment now than ever because it's harder to find friends? I know as you get older, it's probably harder. I don't necessarily, it's going to sound super arrogant. I don't really care because I'm not really looking for more friends. I'm a very keep your circle tight, quality over quantity. I'm not really looking for more friends. But I can imagine as you get older, it becomes more and more and more and more challenging to find friends, and it probably feels necessary to have less and less and less and less standards. When the pool of humans is getting smaller, it's really hard to keep your standards high.
I think when your standards increase, the pool gets
Decreases. Well, but let's just say if you're 30 and then you're 31 and then you're 32, then you're 34, then you're 35, there a lot of other people already have their core group of friends.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people change friend groups a lot as they grow.
Do you have
So-
data backing this up, or is this just
Yeah,
coming from the kid who never leaves the house?
Hey, I was at the lake this weekend. I didn't want to hear it. For some reason, Google today is a marshmallow with chocolate. It's a s'more.
Must be
I have no
National
idea
S'mores
why.
Day. Probably National S'mores Day.
That would make sense. No, I don't have any data. We have a framework, triad of belonging, feeling seen, understood, valued. That's what I think Matt did, is he made you feel seen, understood, and valued. Because if he hadn't thought about how challenging your life is in terms of the business side, you probably would have been honored, but also felt a little unseen. I've been asked to be the best man a few times, and one of them in particular, it was across the country. It was in California. It was a 4-day endeavor during the week, and I sent a long audio saying I really appreciate it and I'm honored, but it was like a 9-minute audio, but I just can't do that right now. Kevin and I are in it. We're in it every day. And that's not aligned, unfortunately. And he hasn't spoken to me since. And I don't know if he ever will again. And honestly, I'm beyond a place in my life where I'm going to try to go make something work that might not need to work, or maybe shouldn't work, or isn't aligned, or whatever. This is scary to share, but I'm not here for that. I'm here to maximize my potential, to reach my potential, and to help others do the same. And everything in alignment with that is what I'm here for. And I've just gotten very clear. I was on with someone on Friday who was asking me, and this goes back to that question in Next Level Nation, what question do you wish you were asked more? Mine was, how are you actually doing that? But anyways, so he asked me those questions. How are you? I don't understand. Why? Because I showed him the mountain, the desktop background, all that. I don't want to make this about me. I felt seen, understood, and valued, though, because he actually wanted to know how. He's a new podcaster. Why? Why did you guys do? You went 9 years without taking a vacation? Like, I don't understand. And I said, well, we've gone on trips and stuff. I've gone 9 years without taking a day off. And he said, well, why? Why would you ever do that? And he actually wanted to know. He wasn't attacking me. Usually people are like, why? Why? And it's, listen, I'm not here for vacation. That's not why I'm here. Now, and I also made it clear, sometimes it's 2 hours, sometimes it's 5 hours, sometimes it's 12 hours, but it's never a full day where I'm not contributing to the business or the mission in some way. Anyways, fast forward. That conversation made me feel seen, understood, valued so much. And I think that the lesson that I can bring to anyone watching or listening to this, at least something that I've come to, is in some ways I've almost given up on being seen, understood, and valued. Because in a way, I don't know if everyone think about, and this is unique to each of us, so everyone think about something about you that feels unseen, undervalued, underappreciated, misunderstood. Something you feel misunderstood in. It's most likely just the most unique parts about you. It's the statistical anomalies. It's the things that are on the fringes. You can spend the rest of your life trying to be seen, understood, and valued for those unique parts of you, but it's a losing game, except for with a select group of people like a Matt in your life.
Yeah. Well, who's also an entrepreneur.
Exactly.
He knows.
Kevin, when you said you were having your after party or wedding party, I don't remember what you called it.
I think it was called a happily ever after party.
Yeah, happily ever after party. And you said it was at a winery, and you told Taryn I might not even go. That made me feel really seen, understood, and valued. I did go. But the fact that you would have been okay if I didn't, that means you understand me. And most people could never understand that. They could not possibly understand that because they value that so much. And if you don't come to mind, that is totally fine.
Well, you know me then.
Yeah. NLU listener, what is happening? I just wanted to jump in here and let you know, if you want to get to the next level faster, we have a free virtual monthly meetup at the first Thursday of every month. You can connect with like-minded people and become a bigger part of this amazing global community. The link to register will be in the show notes. That's the irony, though, isn't it?
It's
you wouldn't
not
want to
about
miss it.
me. That's what it is. It's not about me. It's not. Yeah, it's as much about you as it is about me. I don't want you to come if it's not aligned. I'd rather you not come.
Yeah, that's a unique thing we have. But you are like that too. I don't want anyone to come unless they really want to come.
Same.
That's not normal, I don't think.
Well, this is the thing, and this is what makes it super hard. There is a part of me that understands why that friend of yours is upset.
Yeah, of course.
Right? That's not my view. I wouldn't be. But I understand why he is, for sure.
Agreed.
I can understand.
I think that's one of the reasons. Go ahead.
I was going to say, there's a part of me that wanted to say, like, at some point you got to get over it, but no, not necessarily. Not if that's something you value at 10 out of 10, right?
Yeah.
It's understandable if you wouldn't at this point.
And I think that's one of the ways that I've been able to let go of. I'm trying really hard to opt out of games that are unwinnable, particularly games that are unwinnable for you. Being at all my friends' weddings, for me, is not aligned. And I know for a lot of people, they want to be there. That's what they want to do with their life, and that's okay. I'm not making that wrong. So, but the sort of reframe for everyone out there is what are the unwinnable games you're playing? Because you told me this early on when I had, high school friends and college friends and corporate friends, and you said, "There's no way, Alan. You're not going to be able to see that, like, hang out with that person in the future. Not on the trajectory we're on. You have other priorities." You said it in other ways, but it's so obvious now. I think I was delusional in thinking that I was delusional in the amount of time and effort this would take. I was also delusional in my ability to be good at many things, That's one thing that I'm maturing a lot in. It's really, really delusional to think you're going to be a great best friend, a great acquaintance, a great colleague, a great husband, a great podcaster, a great trainer, a great speaker, a great business owner, a great parent, that's mathematically impossible. You could be good at all of them, but you can't be great at any 10 of them. You're only going to be, that's like being a professional baseball player who also is in the NBA, who also wins an Olympic gold medal, who also swims on the side semi-professionally. It's not ever going to be a thing. That's impossible. And so you kind of called me out way back then and called me out for how delusional that was to think that I'm going to be able to allocate all that time to all those different people. And in hindsight, I really wish that I had been more discerning. But to bring this back to the triad of belonging, where do you feel the most seen? Where do you feel the most understood? Where do you feel the most valued? Those are the rooms you're going to want to be in. However, you can't let that stop you from getting outside your comfort zone, because the cop-out there is, well, if I don't feel seen, understood, and valued, I'm not even going to do this. Like, only the rooms that are ready for me as a speaker. I'm only looking for the people who are looking for me. In business, that's a way to go out of business. But in life, I think that we all kind of know, if you don't have any desire whatsoever to reach your potential, you're not going to like me. Nope. Because that's who I am and what I am. And so what is that for you? And most likely, the people in your inner circle are the people who are the closest to your thing. All the people closest to me are the people who want to reach their potential.
Well, I'm willing to bet the relationships that work the best, in terms of not work the best, meaning they last the longest, they work the best, meaning both parties in the relationship are actually fulfilled, aligned, excited with the relationship. There's less sacrifice, I'll put it that way, is the relationships that have similar core values and core beliefs and core aspirations. Mm-hmm. And the ones that are harder, in theory, you and I's friendship will always be easier for us than you and that other person's friendship. Mm-hmm. Because we value things more closely. I don't care if you come to anything. It doesn't bother me. Could care less. Don't care. Doesn't bother me. And you don't care if I come to anything either. Don't care. That's because that's an aligned value that we both have, a shared value.
I do have to say this, and I hope that this is a lesson that can illuminate for all of us, myself included. It's not that I don't care. It's that I'm not egocentric enough to think that you should come to my thing. The world is a big place. No, I really want to say this. The world is a big place. You can't live your life in a way where you believe that other people should put you at the center of it. It's a very egocentric way to live. And I know that a lot of people are that way, so I'm scared to share this, but ultimately, that is a very immature way to live. Like, expecting everyone else to reorient their life around your wedding is very egocentric. It's very me. Mm. And so it's not that I don't want you there. It's that I understand that you have a life outside of Alan Lazarus. And I think that that's a very mature way to live. And the scary part of that is I think that anyone who is immature is going to hear that and villainize me, potentially. When in reality, the truth of the matter is people have bigger problems and things going on. And I know that it seems like they don't care about you if they're not there for you. But the truth, that's not true.
I agree.
They might have goals and dreams and priorities that are, you don't really know what's going on in their life. You don't know how hard their life is. You don't know what their goals and dreams are. You don't know. I mean, everyone picture a friend who's always there. This is going to be very scary for me. Picture a friend who's always there. You call them in the middle of the night, they're there. You call them anytime they're there. That you text them, they text you right back. That person, unfortunately, the truth underneath this, the hard truth is they don't have large goals and dreams. They don't have to protect their time as much. They aren't, like, and again, I want to use this. You're not going to call up Oprah and say, hey, I have a week-long wedding next week. Can you can you make it? She's going to say, I can't. Because Oprah has hundreds of thousands of people who would love to have her at their wedding.
Mm.
When you become a high-value individual who is very sought after, you have to allocate your time accordingly, and it's very difficult to do that. And I don't think people fully understand. Like, if you didn't come to my wedding, it would not be taken personally. It doesn't mean I don't want you there. It means I get that you have really important work to do, really important things to do, there's other persons, places, things, and ideas in Kevin's life that are more important, and that's okay. And I know that you'll be there, and that's the irony, and I think that's the thing I really want to illuminate for everyone. When you stop caring so much, people actually want to be there.
No, if it's within their core values, core beliefs, core aspirations, yes. I would want to be there regardless because of you. It's not.
But what I mean is because of who I've become.
Yeah, but it's because you and I have similar core values. There are some people that if you don't go to theirs, they're not coming to yours. They're just not going to. Regardless of whether you want them there or not, they're not coming. You know what I mean?
Right.
But for me, I don't. Yeah, I would want to come.
Let's say you had your happily ever after party and people that you invited didn't want to come. Would that hurt you?
No.
Okay, what is different about us? Because same, I don't have whatever that thing is.
One of my core values is freedom. You do what you want. Do what you want.
Same.
I'll invite you, but an invitation does not
You
suggest...
don't think any part of that is just emotional maturity? Just realizing that other people have lives outside of Kevin Palmieri?
As someone who has had to / desire to say no to a lot of things, I want to give other people the opportunity to do the same. So yeah, maybe. But
I think it's just very emotionally mature. Genuinely,
I'm sure it's a piece of it. I would rather somebody not come and be happy. I would rather somebody say no and be fulfilled and aligned than say yes and regret it. That's the way I am in business too. I would rather somebody not work with me than work with me and be regretful.
Same. That's such a unique thing. Yeah.
Well, I think it's
I think a lot of that is just emotional maturity because the truth is you say, well, you just don't value it. It's like, no, I do. I absolutely do.
But not as much as you value choice.
Yes, definitely not. Maybe that's what it is freedom is such a core value for us.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone doing anything they don't really want to do.
All right, speaking of doing something they don't want to do, I have to cut this episode short because you and I have a thing in 1 minute. Group coaching starts October 8th, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll have the link in the show notes. NLU listener will get you 30% off. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we do not have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Please reach out.